I was lying on a hospital bed wearing a paper gown that exposed way too much of my dignity, while my family argued over airline baggage fees 3 feet away from my floor machine. Mom, if we miss boarding because of him, I swear to God. I told you we should have booked business class. Can somebody move? I need a better crying angle for Instagram. That last one came from my sister, Brittany, who had somehow managed to make my possible organ failure about lighting. She leaned over my bed, pushed her lips into a fake pout, and snapped a selfie beside my heart monitor. Perfect, she whispered proudly. I stared at her. Did you just use the Valencia filter on my surgery? Relax, she said. People love emotional content. Across the room, my father was loudly complaining to the nurse about airport traffic while stuffing complimentary pudding cups into his jacket pockets like a raccoon preparing for winter. Meanwhile, my mother clutched my hand dramatically enough for a soap opera audition. Sweetheart, you know we'd stay if the tickets were refundable. Grandpa nearly choked on his coffee. Linda, he said flatly, you once fought a Walmart cashier for 40 minutes over expired yogurt. Don't suddenly act like refunds defeated you. The nurse at the corner desk snorted so hard she had to pretend to cough. That was the first time I noticed her. Dark hair tied back, tired eyes, and a smile she was desperately trying not to show. Her badge said Vanessa. Unfortunately, my family immediately ruined the moment. Everybody gather close, Brittany announced. I need one more prayer picture before security. The entire family crowded around my hospital bed looking like hostages at a low-budget funeral. My brother even lowered his sunglasses halfway down his nose and whispered, Try to look weaker. I literally have tubes in my arm. Yeah, but emotionally weaker. Click. Another photo taken. 5 minutes later they were already posting captions online. Prayers for our brave fighter. Family stays strong together. Hardest day of our lives. Meanwhile, Dad was Googling best rooftop bars in Paris beside my oxygen monitor. Grandpa sat quietly beside me through all of it, unimpressed. He looked 75 years old, angry at the invention of modern society, and fully prepared to fight somebody in the parking lot. When the surgeon finally entered the room, my family reacted like someone had announced final boarding at the airport. Oh, thank God, my mother sighed. The surgeon blinked. Excuse me? Nothing, she said quickly. We're just very emotional. My brother was already dragging luggage toward the hallway. Dad hugged me for exactly 1 second before accidentally stealing my phone charger off the bedside table. Love you, champ. That's my charger. Right. Survival mode. Got it. He still kept it. One by one they disappeared toward elevators, taxis, and overpriced croissants. My mother blew fake kisses. Brittany filmed herself crying for social media. My brother shouted, Text us if you die. Then they were gone. Just gone. The room suddenly felt colder without all the noise. I looked over at Grandpa. You know you can still catch the flight. He stared at me like I'd insulted his ancestors. And spend a week listening to your mother pronounce French words like she's having a stroke? Absolutely not. I laughed for the first time all day. As the anesthesia started hitting me, Grandpa pulled his chair closer beside the bed. I'll be here when you wake up, he said quietly. And unlike everybody else in my family, he actually meant it. When I opened my eyes hours later, my stomach felt like someone had replaced my organs with broken glass. The hospital room was dark except for the television glowing softly in the corner. Grandpa was asleep in the chair beside me with his arms crossed, snoring like a lawnmower. A half-melted pudding cup rested on his stomach. My throat hurt when I spoke. Grandpa. He woke instantly. You alive? Unfortunately. Good. Your mother already posted 3 crying selfies from Paris. He handed me the tablet. The photo showed my entire family wearing black outfits beside the Eiffel Tower pretending to look devastated. Caption. Still praying. Pain follows us everywhere. In the background of the photo, my brother was very clearly holding a giant neon cocktail shaped like a pineapple. Grandpa stared at the screen for a long moment. Then a slow, dangerous smile spread across his face. "Oh," he muttered. "I'm about to ruin their vacation." The pain medication made everything feel slightly unreal, like my organs were floating 3 inches away from my body. Grandpa, however, was operating at full chaotic energy by sunrise. I woke up to him squinting aggressively at my tablet like it had personally insulted him. "These idiots use the same password for everything," he muttered. Vanessa stood beside him trying not to laugh. "Sir, you can't just log into your daughter's account. Watch me." I slowly raised my head. "What exactly are you doing?" Grandpa tapped the screen proudly. "Defending family honor. You're literally committing cybercrime from a hospital chair." "Correct." Vanessa failed to suppress a laugh this time. "Honestly? I want to see where this goes." That should have worried me. 10 minutes later, my mother uploaded another dramatic Paris photo. She stood beside the Seine River wearing designer sunglasses and fake sadness. Caption: "Even across the ocean, our hearts remain in that hospital room." Grandpa cracked his knuckles like a movie villain. Then he edited the caption. "Actually at a wine tasting. Linda had 6 glasses and asked a French waiter if escargot was ocean chicken." Post updated. 30 seconds later the comments exploded. "Wait, what? Is this real? Ocean chicken?" I nearly ripped a stitch laughing. "Oh my God!" Vanessa whispered. "You changed it publicly?" Grandpa looked offended. "I'm old, not weak." Then things escalated. Brittany posted a nightclub selfie pretending to cope emotionally. Grandpa uploaded the uncropped version where 2 shirtless DJs were pouring vodka directly into her mouth while my brother vomited into a decorative fountain behind her. Internet detectives went insane. The comments multiplied faster than bacteria. "This family is insane. Free Grandpa. Somebody protect the hospital guy." My father tried posting a heartfelt video about family strength. Unfortunately, Grandpa still had access to the account and added subtitles. "Dad, we're suffering together." Subtitle: "Currently spending surgery money on lobster." By noon, hashtags were trending. Hashtag Paris Hospital Family. Hashtag Gangster Grandpa. Hashtag Ocean Chicken. Vanessa sat beside my bed during her break scrolling through thousands of comments with tears in her eyes from laughing. "You realize your grandfather just destroyed your entire family online?" "Yeah," I admitted. "And honestly, it's the most supported I've ever felt." That made her quiet for a second. Not awkward quiet. Soft quiet. The kind that sneaks up on you. She handed me another pudding cup. "For emotional recovery. You trying to flirt with me using cafeteria desserts? You're in a hospital gown held together by one string," she replied. "I'm setting realistic expectations." I grinned despite the pain. Meanwhile, Grandpa had evolved into a digital war criminal. He discovered live streaming. That should never happen to any elderly man. Especially not mine. I watched in horror as he started a live stream titled, "My family abandoned this idiot for Paris." Over 20,000 people joined in less than 15 minutes. Grandpa angled the camera directly at me. "Wave at the internet, surgery boy." I looked dead. "You look dead before surgery too. They'll survive." The chat exploded with laughing emojis. Then Grandpa began narrating stolen family photos like a wildlife documentary. "Here we see my youngest grandson attempting to seduce a married tourist despite having the personality of expired mayonnaise." Next photo. "This one is Linda pretending to cry while ordering $30 steak." Next photo. "Ah yes. Brittany locating another unemployed European man with abs." Vanessa laughed so hard she had to leave the room twice. The worst part? People loved Grandpa. Clips spread everywhere overnight. Meme pages reposted him. Someone remixed his insults into dance music. Random strangers started sending food deliveries to the hospital. Even doctors recognized me now. One surgeon walked into my room and said, "Hey, aren't you the abandoned Paris guy?" I nodded weakly. He pointed at Grandpa. Your grandfather called a travel influencer a Botox raccoon on livestream last night. Grandpa shrugged proudly. She deserved it. Then my phone buzzed nonstop. My family had finally noticed. 37 missed calls. 18 angry texts. One message from Brittany that simply read, "How is Grandpa verified on social media?" By the third day after surgery, my family's Paris vacation had transformed into what Grandpa proudly called an international humiliation festival. I was sitting upright for the first time, clutching my stomach every time I laughed, while Vanessa adjusted my floor bag beside the bed. "Okay," she said, staring at her phone. "Your brother just got thrown out of a luxury hotel." Grandpa looked up from his live stream instantly. "What did he do?" Vanessa blinked. "Apparently he tried flirting with the manager's wife while wearing a bathrobe stolen from the spa." Grandpa slapped his knee so hard the heart monitor beside me started beeping faster. "That's my grandson," he wheezed. "Zero survival instincts." The internet had become completely obsessed with our family disaster. Every few hours Grandpa hosted live stream updates from my hospital room like he was reporting war crimes. "Welcome back, patriots," he announced dramatically into the camera. "Today in Paris, Linda attempted to argue with a street artist because he drew her looking too divorced." 20,000 viewers immediately joined. Someone in the comments donated $50 just to hear Grandpa insult my father again. Grandpa accepted instantly. "Richard walks like a man who pays for motivational podcasts." The donations doubled. Meanwhile, my family was spiraling overseas. Their sponsorship deals vanished overnight. Brittany lost 3 brand partnerships after Grandpa uploaded a video of her screaming at a waiter because French ranch dressing tastes emotionally hostile. Even worse, people began recognizing them in public. One viral clip showed my mother trying to leave a bakery while strangers shouted, "HUI, Ocean Chicken Lady!" I nearly passed out laughing. Vanessa grabbed my shoulder. "Careful. You're not medically cleared for revenge comedy." The weird part was how comfortable everything started feeling with her around. Every night after her shift slowed down, she'd sit beside my bed with cafeteria coffee while Grandpa snored like an angry chainsaw in the corner chair. We'd scroll through comments together, making fun of my family while hospital lights glowed softly around us. At some point, the jokes stopped feeling forced. Conversation became easy. Real. She told me her relatives disappeared after her mother died. Said nobody wanted responsibility unless money was involved. "People love family," she said quietly one night. "Until family becomes inconvenient." I looked over at Grandpa asleep under 3 blankets he definitely stole from another room. "Guess we both got lucky with at least one person." She smiled at that. Not polite smiling. Actual smiling. The kind that sneaks directly into your chest and refuses to leave. Unfortunately, Grandpa woke up right then and ruined the moment instantly. "Jesus Christ," he groaned, opening one eye. "Just kiss already. I survived Vietnam for less tension than this." Vanessa almost dropped her coffee. "Grandpa." "What?" "You two flirt like exhausted penguins." The next afternoon, Grandpa somehow became even more famous. It happened entirely by accident. He attempted to live stream another Paris coward update while sitting shirtless in the hospital cafeteria because he claimed hospital gowns were government propaganda. Unfortunately, he forgot the camera was already on. For 3 straight minutes the internet watched him aggressively butter toast while ranting about my father's hairline. "Richard's barber should be arrested," Grandpa declared. "That man's scalp looks like an abandoned tennis court." The clip exploded instantly. Millions of views overnight. People started making remixes. T-shirts. Fan art. One woman mailed Grandpa marriage proposals and something called sensual marmalade. Grandpa looked deeply concerned by the marmalade. Meanwhile, the hospital staff treated him like a celebrity. Nurses brought him extra pudding cups. Patients requested photos. One doctor asked Grandpa to insult his ex-wife on live stream for morale purposes. And somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, I stopped feeling abandoned. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not because strangers online knew my face. Because somebody stayed. Vanessa sat beside me late that night, while rain tapped softly against the hospital windows. Grandpa had finally fallen asleep after threatening 3 influencers and a pharmacist during live-stream comments. "You know," she said softly, "most people would have become bitter after this." "I tried," I admitted. "Turns out Grandpa weaponized comedy before I could." She laughed quietly. Then the silence changed again. Closer this time. Warmer. Before I could overthink it, she leaned forward and kissed me gently. For one perfect second the hospital room disappeared completely. Then Grandpa's voice erupted from the darkness. "About damn time!" We both jumped apart. Grandpa never even opened his eyes. "I may be old," he muttered proudly, "but I can still hear sexual tension." My family returned from Paris looking like exhausted fugitives escaping an international crime documentary. By then, Grandpa had over 2 million followers. The hospital gift shop was selling unofficial Ocean Chicken Survivor mugs. And somehow, despite having surgery less than a week earlier, I was apparently internet famous. I found all this out while sitting in a wheelchair near the hospital entrance beside Vanessa, who was trying, and failing, not to laugh at the crowd gathering outside. There were reporters. Actual reporters. One guy even held a microphone with a logo that read, "Trend Zone Live." "This can't be real," I muttered. Grandpa adjusted his sunglasses dramatically. "Fame changes people. You stole those sunglasses from a sleeping dentist." He wasn't using them. The hospital doors suddenly burst open. My family had arrived. And wow! Paris destroyed them. My father looked sleep-deprived and sweaty. My brother had a visible bruise under one eye. Brittany wore giant sunglasses indoors like every disgraced celebrity in history. My mother spotted cameras and immediately attempted fake crying. Unfortunately, Grandpa reacted faster. "Oh look," he announced loudly. "The vacation package has returned." Every reporter turned instantly. Microphones flew toward my family like hungry pigeons. "Did you abandon your son during surgery? Is ocean chicken a real French dish? How much money did you spend clubbing?" My brother panicked immediately. "This is harassment." Grandpa stood proudly beside my wheelchair. "No, son. This is consequences with excellent lighting." Vanessa nearly choked trying not to laugh. Then my mother rushed toward me with fake emotional energy cranked to maximum. "Sweetheart, we came back as soon as we could. You were posting tequila shots 12 hours ago," I replied calmly. Her expression twitched. My father stepped forward next. "Look, son, things got misunderstood online." Grandpa snorted so violently a nearby reporter laughed out loud. "Misunderstood?" Grandpa barked. "Richard, your idiot son got stuck upside down in a fountain trying to impress a married yoga instructor. That video was private." "Nothing is private when you leave your passwords written on a Chili's napkin." The reporters lost control laughing. Brittany finally snapped. "Grandpa, why are you doing this to us?" That question changed the room. Grandpa slowly looked at all of them. For the first time in days, he stopped joking. "When your grandson was terrified before surgery," he said quietly, "every single one of you cared more about croissants than whether he woke up." Nobody spoke. Even reporters lowered their microphones slightly. Grandpa pointed at me. "He needed family. You gave him hashtags." The silence hit harder than yelling ever could. My mother looked genuinely ashamed for about 4 seconds before noticing cameras again. Then came the final bomb. Grandpa pulled folded papers from his jacket. "Oh, and one more thing," he announced casually. "I changed the will." The entire family froze like somebody unplugged them. "You what?" my father shouted. Grandpa smiled peacefully. "Turns out loyalty matters." Brittany looked horrified. "You're joking." "Nope. Most of my money now goes toward his recovery, Vanessa's medical scholarship fund, and a very irresponsible RV road trip for myself." Vanessa blinked. "Wait, what?" "You heard me," Grandpa said. You kept my idiot grandson alive and tolerated this family. Frankly, you deserve hazard pay. My brother looked ready to faint. But we're family. Grandpa shrugged. And raccoons are technically mammals. Doesn't mean I invite them inside. One reporter actually clapped. The next few minutes became complete chaos. Questions everywhere. Cameras flashing. My mother yelling. My brother blaming France somehow. Meanwhile, Grandpa casually accepted a pudding cup from a nurse like he was watching street theater. And standing there beside Vanessa, watching my family implode in front of national media, I realized something weird. I didn't hate them anymore. They'd spent years teaching me that blood automatically meant loyalty. Grandpa proved the opposite. Real family stays. Even in ugly hospital rooms. Even during fear. Even when there's nothing fun to gain. Vanessa squeezed my hand gently while reporters continued shouting outside. You okay? She asked softly. I looked at Grandpa stealing another pudding cup while insulting a cameraman's haircut. Then I looked at her. For the first time in a long time, I actually was okay. A nurse finally wheeled me toward the exit while reporters followed us outside into bright afternoon sunlight. Grandpa zoomed ahead on a stolen hospital mobility scooter wearing his dentist sunglasses like a mafia boss. Out of the way! He yelled at photographers. Recovering celebrity coming through. The crowd erupted laughing. And honestly, it was probably the happiest hospital discharge in medical history.